Listen to them calling. Robbins. Early in the morning, what's happening, yo? Oh, man. Ah, shucks. Believe it or not, I just walked in the house, 8 o'clock. And I laid on the couch, and I woke back up just now. 10:37. Yeah, listen, can I talk to me with you? I just want to share with you how I talk to me. You see, there's a word. It has a A and a Y at the end, and it has an E and a Y at the end. You see, one says A, the other one says I. You see, according to how we pronounce our words. Now, I haven't been in your institutions for a long time to sit down and study and to seal a program in me. I haven't I still have my rawness from the Most High. I still have it, you see, I still have it. That's why I don't have nothing in this world, because I have the Most High with me. You see, I have to go to it, my nature. You see, my original essence, I have to go to that before I institute what I was learned in the institutions, which was nothing. Just socializing, I guess. I don't know, because I don't remember nothing. I ain't never been to no proms and no shit like that. Yeah, never been to no proms, junior proms and graduations, and I ain't never been to none of that shit. I ain't never been oh, wait a minute, hold on. Winters, I graduated out of the 6th grade. Yeah, I remember that. I walked across the stage too, and they got me a little seal that I graduated out the 6th grade, going to middle school, going to the 7th grade, and that's when we cut out. So it was the 6th grade, then we cut out, and that was in 1981. Yep, 1981, and we well, it didn't happen that fast. It didn't happen that fast, and because I don't remember 8th grade. Okay, 8th grade. It was 8th grade. We left Cincinnati in the 8th grade. But you have the word pray, and then you have another word, pray. The last 2 letters of those words is an E and a Y, and an A and a Y. In order to pray spiritually, you use the A and the Y. That's the 1 and the 7, or the 1 and the 25, 1B. You see, 2 and the 5, the 2nd and the 5th letter of the alphabet, 2 and 5. I like sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping the gun real quick. Sometimes, I like when people be talking, have supreme talk, and then when they get, I guess they venture over to where I'm at, or somebody told them to look at the things that I do with these numbers and letters. And they be having some of the most uneducated understanding of what they think they see. And they'll try to use their intelligence or their intellect to try to define what I'm doing. You see, and it trips me out. It bugs me a little bit. You see, not too much. You see, and it's like they don't know where they have a shortness of where these letters come from, these symbols come from, and how they were constructed and placed, numerally, you see, or values. They're values. Each one of those symbols have a value. You see, you mean to tell me you speaking these words and you don't want to know the value of these letters? You want to say that that's not God? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? You see, and the numbers tell you how the frequencies move with those symbols. You see, it tells you how if you put them in order. You see, you got the lower heaven, the central, and then you got the higher heaven. You see what I'm saying? You have to put them in order. You see, put them in order. And when you read them, you see, it's the way I read them back in the day. It was on a screen and I was reading them like this. You see, that's how I was reading. That's how I was reading. I wasn't speaking with my mouth. My fingers was guiding me, you see, like this. That's how I was reading, you see, and sometimes, and I still have the book and the understanding of how to read these bodies. You see, I'm just low. I just don't have what I used to have thousands of years ago. You see what I'm saying? When the world in the Most High was abundant, you see, you can feel his presence. Back in the day, you can feel his presence. You see, you walk through the forest or you walk through an oasis, you can feel the presence of the Most High because your senses or something rises up on you, like your hairs on your body or something. You can feel it. It just straightens out. It gives you a perm. You know what I'm saying? You know how when women straighten out their hair and things, they put that permanent chemicals in their hair? Well, that's what it feels like. You see? It's like, you don't know you have static electricity on you until you touch something. You see what I'm saying? But you can feel it. And so when things fall down from the sky or floating in the air, and then we get our special cameras and things, and we can see how these little dots and things float in the air. And so while they're floating in the air, almost like the speed of light, we slow it down. We slow it down, and then we look at these molecules that's floating around in the air and see where they're going. You see, we place ourselves under, you see, meaning we lay on our back and look up and see how they look, you see, in that angle. And then we visualize ourselves looking, being above it, you see, and looking down at it, and then see how it was up, down, and down, up, you see, or left side and right side and right side and left side, because you have reversed yourself to see these molecules that's floating in the air. You understand what I'm saying? So what we did, we measured these things. You see, we measured them. How do you measure the sound? How do you measure the chemicals? How do you measure mischievousness or disrespect of the atmosphere? How do you measure it? What do you do? How do you do it? You see, it's not in your book. It's strapped inside of your DNA. You see, you have to learn these bars. How do you learn the bars? Let the servants who went in to show you what it looked like, let the servants of the Most High or of Hezeton, you see, go to them or go to what they described or what they illustrated. You see, your head was too big. You was too haughty. You see, you see, and too naughty, you see, to stay in one place and to see the things that's in the darkness. So the Most High said, I gotta wake these people up, but I gotta make sure that my people don't see each other, because I still don't know what happened to these to myself down there. We're gonna have to make something totally different than what we look like down here. You see? And matter of fact, we gotta make it to where they have power over them or me down there. They're going to have power over me. You see, I'm going to make sure that they will be able to see inside of these red cells. See inside, I'm going to call them plasma. I'm going to call them white cells. They're diabolical. They're going to be diabolical now. They might get ill with my son, you see, but I need their hustle. You see, I need their hustle. I need them to really concentrate, you see, and focus. They need to create a space for themselves so they can do the work. They ain't gonna be able to do it with my energy that's set inside of these pods that's the color of the earth and shit. You see, my beings. You see, my cells down here. You see, I had to create myself in a whole different way. You see, I had to get inside of them, these structures of what I created. I had to get inside of these structures. You see, I had to find out what happened to my me's down here. You see, I have to put them in order. I have to put my me's in order. But I got to create an immune system. You see, you got the red cells, that's my me's, and then you have an immune system, you know? I got to create an immune system and make them motherfuckers hate me down here. You see. But how do I take it? How do I make it a law and write it on their souls to hate me? You see, you know, my ruddy self that's down below. You see, I heard some of them in their books. They wrote it down and talked about the red man, you see, and the mahogany. You see, I never heard the word black though. You see, very dark skin. I heard swarthy. You see, and from Hesetan's kingdom, I heard in the Hebrew language, I heard Shakur. I think that's how you pronounce it. So, I'm looking up at the sky. I taught myself what to see. And I kept on studying what I think I see in the sky. And as time went on, whatever I was concentrating on, thinking that I was seeing it, it revealed itself to me. Why or how did it reveal itself to me? What was I using? What type of senses was I using to see what you can't see? You see, what was I using? What made me do that? What type of spirit? What type of God? What type of entity? You see, what would make, tapped on me and said, I want you to study something that the people down below call nothing. You see, I'm going to put that N and that O in front of this thing, you see, to let people know that it's a spirit. You see, it's no thing, but that don't mean it don't exist. You see, so when you hear people say, nothing from nothing leaves nothing, halt them. Walk away. Walk away. Because those who they serve are those who they feel is above them in the flesh. You see, they know that nothing only means that you just can't see it. You need some extra power to see down inside of those particles. You see, you just need some extra power. Your house, your people. You see this red body of people. You see, you just dwell. You just dwell, and I don't exist. You see, you dwell, and I don't exist. You see, the immune system dwells, and I exist. You see, just imagine that for a second. Just imagine that for a second. How much work do the immune system do to keep your ass in order? How much work do the blood cells, do the red cells do to keep your ass in order? You see, take these understandings, and just dabble inside of them a little bit, you see, because these frequencies, all these things, you see, just like this right here. See, they don't know when you do this. They don't know what that means. You see, they don't know what these things mean. You see, when you doing this. You see, they don't know. They don't listen, they don't know bond. You see, when I was sharing this, I didn't show you these things. I didn't show you this here. You see, I didn't show you that bond me. Seals. You see, JESUS. Why bond me? You see, why? Don't just use your education, what you call education and what you just studied from this spelling here. You see, it has nothing to do with the spelling. It has something to do with the numerals. That's where I'm at. You see, that's where I'm at. When you start coming into understanding these bodies, it'll be easy for you to understand the formulas in chemistry. You see, because you're used to these constructs. You're used to them. See, you don't know how to lift yourself up and prepare yourself to read something that they call difficult or that they gave you a degree for. You see, they gave you a degree for, however it may be, but let the Most High talk to you and let him teach you. You see, or just don't touch too much out here. You see, don't touch too much out here. You see, you don't have to let them know. Only thing you have to do is reconstruct your body. You understand the love that you have for yourself. You can be able to institute that same body of understanding out here in the world. Incognito. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to let them know what you're doing. You don't have to be on this mark right here. That's in the palm of my hand. You don't have to be on that. You see, you don't have to trade yourself in and try to make money from this. If you really want to save your people or save yourself first, the first thing you're going to have to do is cut off the mark. Just strip this mark off of you and go under. You see, go under. I heard a young man the other day, he was breaking every goddamn cellular structure in the black woman and black people. I was so afraid if I was in his presence, I would have went up to him and put a hood over his head and tightened it around his neck and pulled him outside to talk to him and tell him to shut the fuck up. You see, I don't care how much you think you know him. And all the things that you have studied out here because you want to sound intelligent. Nigga, they need you. They need something inside of you. You see? And you up there feeding them. They don't have to do no damn work. They can come to you. Snitch. Snitch. You see? Telling on our people. Telling them what's inside of us. You see? Helping them to search for it. With all this so-called book knowledge and things that you carry in your hand. Trying to, and posting it. You see? All this other type of shit. You don't want people to think that you're intellectual and shit. You don't know that you're about to box with a motherfucker. You don't know that you're about to perish. You see? Keep on giving art, giving. Why you think we're in this position? Because of people like you. You don't have God in you. That's Hesatan in you. You see, telling you to read all this shit. And God dwells inside of you. Gain this power first. So you can be protected when you reading all that bullshit that your peoples haven't written or excavated. You're not intelligent, you're dumb as fuck. Dumb as fuck. You know what that feel like? I feel like me boxing a boxing bag just now. That's what I just feel like. You see, people call it anger, they rage and all these other type things. You see, that's because of how they was raised on watching television and watching, you see, the enemy of their spirit and souls. You see what they were told. You know, it's a truth. You hearing the rage now is a psychological problem. It's weird, and you got names for the things. That's ape psychology. You see, that's ape psychology. But at the same time, you go to the movies and watch all these people put on these theatrics and put on all this so-called strength and become something inside of these movie cameras. You see, they'll start talking a certain way. You see, but you know it's a movie. You know it's acting. You know you see, it's in the house of thespians. You see, or thespianism. You see. But if you don't do it on stage, and you're not famous and you're not known and you're doing that, they're going to cut your ass up. But back to the real deal. All you have to do is learn the difference between the EY and the AY. One says pray, the other one says pray. One last two letters equals out to a 5 and a 7. That's a 12. That's pray, EY. And then you have the next one. That's a 1 and a 7. That's an 8. You see, that's pray. You see, one is praying in the spirit and one is praying in the physical. You see? So you have an 8, and then did I say that's a 12? And then you have a 3. You have an 8 with the A and Y, and then you have a 12. 1 and 2 is 3. You see the odds of that? So that's what we do out here. People thinking they praying to God, but no, they EYing. You see, they put the EY on there, you see, and they call it hustle. You see, getting yours. I love you. Bye-bye.